we go and start filling the table, as you know by now, DP always gives you a number as an answer, which is the optimal value, the maximum or the minimum. So it is the minimum number of coins if it's a CCP, or the length of the longest subsequence if it is LCS. It does not give you the actual configuration. So this table will only tell you the length of the longest common subsequence. If you want to know what the actual subsequence is, then you have to backtrack. And luckily for us, compared to CCP, the backtracking here is very easy. So as you fill in the characters in your, or the values in your DP table using this formula, you just have to do one extra thing. You're going to insert arrows. So whenever you fill a number into the cell, just adjacent to that number, you're going to put an arrow, and then when you're backtracking, those arrows will guide you on how to go. So I'll explain what arrows we're going to add first, and then the backtracking will come to it. So if the ith and jth characters match, you're going to use this arrow, which makes complete sense, because what you're doing is you're taking the top left element, you're doing a +1 and putting it into the cell. So you're going to point to that top left element by putting in this arrow. Again, if they do not match, you have two cases. Like I said, either you compare the top and the left, whichever is the greater, you're going to fill it. So in those respective cases, if the top grid happens to be a greater one, you will put an arrow pointing upward. If the left grid happens to hold the greater number, you will put an arrow pointing leftward. So basically, there are three grids which are stakeholders towards the value which can be filled into a grid. If the cell and if the sequence 1, sequence 2 characters are the same, then it is top left +1. So you fill that value and you simply put a top left arrow in this cell. If they are not equal, you're going to compare the one above and the one to the left. Whichever is the greater, you take that number, put it, and you mark that cell with an arrow pointing towards that neighbor from whom you borrowed the value. So this is the extra configuration you will do, and how this will help us in backtracking, we will see in a while.